we should have probably put like a cover crop in and maybe another clean out spray in hindsight. So it would have helped get the paddock ready for perennial pasture.
So through the establishment phase, what was the weed burdens like? Was there many, did you have to do any cleanup sprays that might have potentially impacted the lucerne in the clovers, or?
So there was Cape weed strike that we have to use a Jaguar product over it. It was meant to be safe on the lucerne. I think too that we did have quite a wet establishment period, whether or not that impacted the lucerne establishment. And I just think trying to have lucerne in that mix with all the other competing grasses, it was a bit of a ask.
To try and manage that as well, it then becomes a bit of a challenge as well.
Yeah.
So if you were going to do the same thing again, would you take the lucerne out and use that as a separate stand somewhere else or with other companion species?
I think, yeah, take the lucerne out, and if we wanted to establish some lucerne in the mix, maybe put that as a solo crop, and then add in the grasses.
There's a few things. Since in that time, we'd actually add chicory and plantain as the pasture species.
Yep.
And we, as it turned out, we, under all the pressure, it took us till May to get it sown. And I think we got poor establishment sowing. The ground had got cold, and so we didn't get good establishment. And part of what the process is at the moment, we haven't grazed it. We're trying to help it run to seed and set more seed. So we'll skip the grazing about 3 weeks ago, and it'll probably be the end of December before it gets grazed.
And that's probably one of the result of one of the things we did wrong in the last 2 years with such a good season and understocked. We favoured it, allowing it to establish, but it's actually contributed to a lot of litter cover. And so going into last autumn, we had very little subclover set, and there are established white clovers through it, but not a lot.
In terms of the phalaris not establishing well, do you just think that's because of the seasonal conditions that we've had, that it's been quite soft and it's favoured the other grasses more so?
Possibly, but I think the germination was pretty poor. I don't know whether it didn't like being so late. And the other, we probably had too much annuals, the arrow leaf clover, and they actually dominated the first year. And phalaris is a very weak plant when it's a seedling.
I'm pretty happy at the moment. There's a few minor things. We've got a bit of bracken fern coming through, but it's a bit there's a few issues spraying the bracken ferns with plant backs on your brassica crops. So maybe if we were to wick wipe some of that bracken fern, but we're pretty limited on timing. We've only just purchased this property, so if we had bought it 6 months earlier, it would have been a different story. I like the idea of some mixed, chicories and plantains and that sort of stuff, but it's just limits your options when you start having major weed problems.